Hello out there in YouTube land. Hey, my name is Ray Albert, and I am going to show you some things that you need to know in order for your SEO to work, in order for your page to load faster. Everybody wants to get seen in Google, and Google penalizes you for certain things. Number one, if you don't have a sitemap. Number two, if your page loads slow, and things like that. So I'm going to show you some relevant things that you need to do to clean up your computer, to clean up your website, to clean up your back end on your website, and just to make your overall experience better with Google. And so let's go to my desktop and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, now the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have a Gmail account. Very simple to create a Gmail account. Just go to google.com and create a Gmail account. No problem there. And then what you want to do is you want to type into the browser. I just type in webmaster. So as you can see, it says the first thing that comes up here is this Google Webmaster Tools. So when you click that, you're going to come to this page, which is the Search Console, which is what you've learned about before. And I have all these different websites, but first thing you have to do is make sure that your website is verified. As you can see down here, this website is not verified. So we're going to work on that, and I'm going to show you how to do that. The first thing that you want to do is you're going to want to verify the property. So now I want you to go to the website physically, okay? So I'm going to open a new tab here, and I'm going to type in the name of the website. So if you just go here and just put a backslash and put WP dash admin, you should be redirected to the back end of your website. Okay, so here's where you need to log into the back end of your website. And now what you want to do when you're in the back end of your website, always, as you can see here, I have 9 updates that I need to do. So if you click on the 9 updates, and this also helps with SEO, this helps with your page loading up faster if everything's up to date. Okay, now it's telling me that I have these plugins that need to be updated. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select all, and I'm going to just say update plugins. Now as you can see, all my plugins are updated. As you can see right there, there's all the plugins that need to be updated. And so now we only have one other thing here. Let's see what this update is. It's saying that I need to update to the latest version of WordPress. Oh, it says I have the latest and for future that I can. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go to plugins. Got to find it first. Okay. Now in plugins, we're going to make sure, first of all, you want to make sure that, again, you had this head and footer code that you put in before. You want to make sure that you have Jetpack by Wordpress. Now if you don't have Jetpack, it's very simple to do. All you have to do is click here to say add new. As you can see, Jetpack is the first thing that comes up. And you want to make sure that your theme that you're using is compatible with the plugin that you're going to use. If you go down here, as you can see, this is not compatible with the theme that I am using. And if you don't know what theme that you're using, it's easy to find out. All you have to do is go to Appearance and Themes, and it'll tell you what theme that you have active right now. Right now I have the Sydney theme active. This is a little complicated theme, but I like it, so that's what I have. And most of you, if you just updated or if you just installed your WordPress, basically everybody's going to have the 2017 theme. That's a theme that automatically uploads when you first install WordPress. So we can get back to that later. Right now, let's get back to the plugins. Now we want to make sure, first thing I want to make sure is we have SEO Yoast plugged into your computer, okay? SEO Yoast will help you with SEO when you're building your website pages, when you're building your blogs. SEO Yoast helps you make sure that you have your URL, can't even talk, your URL string correct. So if you have, like, say your page and you name it, say Ray's Novelty Store, okay, you're going to make sure that your URL string in your heading is going to say Ray's Novelty Store, and it will tell you need H1 tags, you need H2 tags, you need your keyword into a header tag like an H1 tag or H2 tag. It'll tell you all this stuff. Okay, but before we get into all that stuff, which I don't plan on getting into today because you're learning all that already on the H1 tags and all that, how to actually build out the pages and that, I just want to make sure you have this plugin. And again, if you don't have this plugin, all you have to do is go to Add New, and then just type in the search bar here. If you just type in Yoast, Y-O-A-S-T, it should come right up. And there it is right there. So I already have it activated. If you don't, all you're going to do is click install right there, and after it is installed, this will be blue and it'll say activate, and you click on that and it will be activated. Okay, so then now you have SEO Yoast installed. A few other plugins that you need to have. I recommend you do this Updraft Plus. What this does is automatically, you don't have to pay for programs to back up your websites. This automatically backs up your website every so many days, and it goes into a file that only you know about. And so if your website goes out, you lose everything. I did that last year by accident. I lost everything. I had to start all over again. With this, all you have to do is you're going to go to the file and you're just going to reinstall the files. Okay, I recommend that. Also, I recommend WP Supercatch, and what this does is it helps to load your page faster. So if somebody comes back to your website, it's not going to try to reload everything on your website. What it's going to do is it's just going to reload the necessary new things that have been updated so the user can get your website up on their computer faster. Okay, I also recommend that you install Wordpress Security. Again, all you got to do is go up to Add New, type in Wordpress Security, and install that. And what this does is it protects your website from intruders. You might get somebody that's a hacker that's trying to guess your password, and so you could set it up to where, if they get it wrong 3 different times, it's going to lock them out. So that person, that IP address that tries to attack your website again, won't be able to even get to your website. It'll just lock them right out. Another thing I recommend is WP Smoosh. And what WP Smoosh does is it takes all of your pictures and it creates smaller files for your pictures so that they load faster. So all of this stuff is good for SEO in Google's eyes, because one of their criteria is page speed and loading. So this will help you, if you got a bunch of pictures on your website or whatever, load your page faster for the user. And for Google, it's all about the end users. And so one other one that I recommend is this Optimize. Optimize, it's spelled different. Just check it out. You can get a tighter screenshot there. It's AUTOPTIMIZE, Optimize. And what this does is it optimizes all your CSS and JavaScript codes so that it, again, loads your page up faster for a better customer experience. And so those are the ones that I recommend that you install on your computer. Okay, so now we got all of that installed. Let's go back to the Search Console here. If you didn't have Yoast SEO plugged in, you might have been lost in this part of it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is the recommended method, which you've probably seen before, and it's this meta script right here. But what you want to do, and we've seen it before where you take the quotes out of it, but I'm going to leave the quotes in because I had an issue with one of my other sites where I needed the quotes in, and it's weird how some sites, I gotta copy the whole darn thing. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll be sneaky and I'll open up a notepad here, and I'll just paste it in the notepad, and then I'll go between the quotes, which is right here. You want to grab this all the way over to there, right mouse click, copy that. All right, minimize that. Now go back to your WordPress site, and now here, once you got SEO Yoast installed, you go down here to SEO and you go to Webmaster Tools, and right here where it says Google Search Console, you just paste your ID right in there. Okay, there it is with the quotes. Okay, then you hit the Save Changes. Okay, now that it's saved, you go back to your console and you can click on Verify, and let's see if I needed those quotes or not. Okay, verification failed. Okay, so let's go back now to where it is, to the Webmaster Tools, and as you can see, it didn't stick. That's weird. Let's try it one more time. Let's save the changes. Didn't save it. Okay, so let's try it the other way, where you take out the quotes and save changes that way. Okay, so then we're going to go back to the console and we're going to try to verify it again, and there we go. It was, so in this case, in this website, it's weird how different websites are different, but this one I had to take out the quotes, and on another website I had to leave in the quotes, so go figure, right? So those are two of the, so now that it's verified. Okay, so now one thing that you need to learn also is in order for Google to really know what your site is about, remember how you went and you crawled and you fetched this Google. Okay, now if you just want the home page to be fetched, as you can see, I already did mine, but all you do is fetch and render, and then in this part here it'll come up request crawling, and you just click that and you request crawling. And with every page that you make for your website, you do the same thing, but if you make a page, another page on how to do push-ups right, and you make a page like that, you know, how to get fit in 2 weeks at home, /, you know, how to do push-ups right. So you would just type in here, you know, the URL, how to do push-ups right, and then you would just say fetch and render, and you would do the same thing. Okay, so for every page, you want to do that. Okay, so that Google knows where you're at. Okay, another thing that you need to know, sitemap.xml. Now, what this does is it tells the Google bots how to crawl your site. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. So if we go to, and we type in site, you type in site, and then just XML, and click go, you're going to get, the first thing that comes up is www.xmlsitemaps.com. So click on that, and now you're going to put your website in here. So I'm going to go back to this website that I have, and I'm going to go to the home page. Okay, and I'm just going to right mouse click, I'm going to copy the URL there, and then I'm going to go back to this site right here. And so what you want to do is you just want to paste your URL in there and click start, and it's going to create an XML sitemap for you. So it's scanning the pages and it's making my sitemap. Okay, so now it's done. So if I click on view sitemap, it's going to say download your XML sitemap file. So you click there, decide where you want. I'm just going to put it on my desktop so I know where it is. Okay, so now it's downloading the XML file, which is actually just a Word, a text file. So you can edit this in any text file also. Okay, so now what you want to do to install this sitemap. Now, SEO Yoast is supposed to update your sitemaps automatically, but honestly, folks, when you go into the search console, when you're here and you go to sitemaps, and you see it, I got Google Yoast on here, right? it's going to show me I have 0 sitemaps. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to install the sitemap into my website. So how do I got to do that? Well, you have to have access to your backend. Okay, if you have, say, GoDaddy, and you followed the instructions, and you wanted to have control over everything down to every single pixel, you have what's called a control panel. If I have HostGator myself, and I'll show you what, but most cPanels all look the same. Okay, so this is my main cPanel here. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to go to my file manager, and that's what you're going to do in your cPanels. You want to go to your file manager. You're going to want to go to your, this is what's called the root of your domain. If you double click this, you're going to see that there isn't any sitemap in there, even though Google is supposed to put it in there automatically. I mean, Yoast. So now this is just a license. Now you also need what's called a robots.txt file, and what this does is it tells Google how, what you want searched in your website. So technically with a robots.txt, you can tell the robot you don't want them to crawl anything on your website, or you could not have the txt file in there, and they will just crawl the whole website, but then intruders get in there and they can do the same thing. Anyway, to get back to what I'm doing here, what you want to do to get your sitemap in here is you're going to upload the file. So I'm going to go to my desktop, and I'm going to find my sitemap on my desktop. Where are you? Okay, sometimes it's easier to do this. There it is. And what you're going to do is you're going to highlight that, and you're going to say open, and already it's downloaded. It takes that long. Okay, so then if you go back to your website main page here, you're going to see that the sitemap.xml has been added to my website. So now if you go back to the console and you want to test the sitemap, all you got to do is put where the sitemap is. So all you do is just put, got to make sure I'm telling you guys the right thing here. So what you want to do is you want to have this string in there, sitemap.xml, in there. Okay, so if we go back to the console, all you got to do is put sitemap.xml. Okay, now what that's going to do is you're going to submit the sitemap, going to refresh the page, and there it is. My sitemap is there. Okay, now anytime you add a new page to your website, anytime you add a new blog to your website, anytime you do something different to your website, you're going to want to update the sitemap. And believe me, you want to do it yourself, because then you know for certain that it's done, and it's done correctly. Okay, so now my sitemap is in. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to Fetch as Google, and just for ha-has, I'm going to see what happens when I go to Fetch as Google. So now I'm going to go Fetch as Google. As you can see, last time I did that was on 9/11/17. So let's see what happens now that I have a sitemap in there. Now as you can see, since I have my sitemap in there, it completed the fetching process. Now you want to request indexing. Tell them you're not a robot. You want them to crawl this site and all its direct links. So now it's been requested and it will index my site. So remember to do that all the time, okay? So now I just wanted to show you what a robots.txt file looks like. Now, here, it's got user agent semicolon, in which the star means it's everything, okay? So the Google bots can search my whole site, except I am disallowing the readme.html file. That's the only file that I don't want them to read. Okay, other than that, they can search my site as much as they want to. And then here, I'm telling the bots where my sitemap.xml is. So when they go to search my site, they can know where the sitemap is, and they can search the sitemap. You can make your own robots.txt file very simply. It's just a text file. Type everything right into here that you want for the robots.txt file, and then you go back to you just go back there and you just do the upload and do the same thing. Now you don't never have to change the sitemap, where it's located, because it's always going to be here. That's it for now, folks. So I hope this tutorial's been enlightening and educational. That's what I try to make it. Like I said, there's just a few things that you need to know to make your site faster in Google's eyes, so that you have more love from Google, from the Google bots, and from everybody that visits your website, that they have a good experience and a fast loading website, not a slow loading website, and that your website is indexed and they can find it. Okay, so that's all. Ray Albert out. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you again in another video.